No, I wasn't muted. For the record, I was absolutely not muted at all. I was professional this time. You got none of you saw that whole beginning of the stream? I just refreshed YouTube. Did any of you see the first part of the stream? Are you kidding me? I wasn't muted. Look, I'm sure you can rewind it. I'm sure I was not muted. I was perfect this stream. Everything looked fine. I just refreshed YouTube. Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. I don't know why it didn't go. I was just playing the video like it was running because I was watching it run. It looked like it was running. Let me rewind it just a tad, just a smidgen. That's weird. Thank you, Josh, for saving this stream because I was watching OJ alone. Oh, that sounds like I need professional help. Just sitting in my room before the sun comes up watching OJ Simpson murder trial alone with my cats. But now it's an OJ party. See, it's completely different. Completely different.
You did.
Did he change paper on the table between every evidence item that he examined in your presence?
We were doing this together, so I don't know if he changed paper or I changed paper.
And I
but paper
wasn't
would have been
muted.
changed, yes.
Just wasn't. I wasn't this whole time not muted. Period.
Now, you testified on direct that you saw there were some of the hairs that you examined had
Hi, Jess.
what appeared to be blood on them. You remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
You have no way of telling from looking at a hair that appears to have blood on it when the blood got on the hair, do you?
No.
You have no way of telling whether the blood was on an object and then the hair got on it, or the hair was on the object and then the blood got on it, do you?
See, there might have been signs in the past.
No.
And you have no way of telling whether the hair and the blood got together before they got on the object either, do you?
No.
Now, you talked about the difference between water mounts and per mounts yesterday. You remember that?
Yes.
Now, water mounts, I think you said, was not the desirable procedure.
No.
Okay, what'd you say about that?
That may have been what I said.
Okay.
It is not the desirable procedure.
And the reason for that is because it affects your ability to look at colors, doesn't it?
To look at most characteristics of the hair, color being one of them.
It doesn't prevent you from counting hairs, does it?
Well, it could if two hairs happen to be, crossing over very close to each other because of that, difference. The dark black line I told you about, you may actually obscure a couple hairs.
When you counted the hairs in this case on the wet mounts, were you very careful about counting the number of hairs?
I tried to be careful.
And you take your time and you count everything that's there that you see.
Yes.
And you indicated that some of the slides that you mounted and counted and recorded the number of hairs, when they got to Washington, more hairs were found on those slides, correct?
Well, they were just water mounted by me, so hairs weren't found on the slides, but in the bindles.
So after you look at it on the water mount, you take it off that and put it in the bindle.
That's correct.
And you're careful to make sure that you don't add anything to the bindle
That's
when
correct.
you do that.
Yes.
And when those bindles got to Washington, some of them had more hairs in them.
Then I had counted, yes.
Do you have, you were asked to look at the property reports yesterday to tell us what the description was for the blood stain items that you also looked at in either box number 1 or box number 2. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You have the property reports, don't you?
Wait,
No.
wait. What? She pulled hair from OJ's head and counted it. And it was 96, 93, something like that. And then when it got to the lab, there were more hair in there than she counted? Is that what he just kind of lightly touched on and moved on real quick? Because isn't he defense? Shouldn't he be hammering that? Wait, no, he's prosecutor. Got it. That's why. He just said it and moved on. I get it now. Still, how? Someone tell me how that happened.
You
Seems important.
were asked to tell us what the description was, and you said that the descriptions were swatch or swatches. Remember saying that?
Yes.
Almost every one of those descriptions in the property report was singular, swatch,
Swatch.
wasn't
Stay.
Oof.
it? How many of the items that Ms.
Oof.
Clark...
T. Your husband and mother-in-law told you to sleep in yesterday. That's already pretty scary. Wonder why they did that. Don't they both need stuff? Aren't they both extremely needy right now? It's in their time of need, and you are the one to provide everything. He's defense? Is he defense? He's not as annoying as he should be if he's a defense lawyer. He sucks.
read to you while we were standing up there referred to anything other than swatch, singular.
Sustain.
I knew it was a trap at the first sentence.
About 4
They
months.
told you to sleep in. You shouldn't have bet. That was a trap. You did it to yourself. It's like when my kids say, Mom, I'll cook, which they've never done. It's a trap. The kitchen is going to be on fire, or they're going to want money, or it's a trap.
You indicated yesterday that you put, at one point, you put both gloves on the floor to do a comparison photograph.
Yes.
And they were on separate pieces of paper?
Yes, they were.
You positive about that?
Yes.
Could we have Exhibit 444, please? Equals 444 on the envelope. Is that a picture of the comparison that you did on the floor?
Yes.
Do you see any seam showing individual pieces of paper between the gloves?
I do not see a seam.
Do you have any other picture that shows that shows a seam?
I don't.
Let me go back for a minute to your hair description chart. Go back down a little bit.
And this is 12.
17.
Thank you.
I want to ask you just one more question about hair analysis. Is there any standard in the field of hair analysis for what characteristics have to be present to say that two things are consistent?
Not that I'm aware of.
So one examiner may have different criteria in terms of what specific characteristics or the number of characteristics that they require before they say something is consistent than another examiner.
Or will.
That may be correct.
You referred to, at one point, that people, or somebody was sent back to Mr. Goldman's apartment to get an exemplar from a hairbrush. Remember that?
Yes.
That's a fairly common procedure if you need extra hairs from, extra exemplar to get them from a person's hairbrush, isn't it?
It's something I personally had never done before, but I understand that it is done.
And you would expect to find a person's hair in their hairbrush.
I would.
If someone had access to, for instance, the defendant's hairbrush, they could get exemplars, probably a substantial number from his hairbrush, couldn't they?
I would imagine so, yes.
You know, perhaps this might be a good time.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our mid-morning break at this time. Please remember all of my admonitions to you. And
Damn
we'll
it,
see you back here in
Josh!
15
What the
minutes.
hell?
Come back in 15 minutes.
Josh shows up and Ito's like, I'm out of here. I gotta go. Guys, I gotta get out of here as fast as possible. He didn't even talk to the jury at all. He just left.
All right, back on the record in the Simpson matter. All parties are again present. We also have present with us Deputy District Attorney William Hodgman.
Hodge.
Morning,
Hodge.
Mr. Hodgman. How are you?
Good morning.
I gotta watch Criminal Minds now, all of it, from beginning to
Do you
end.
have some word for us?
Well, I have some words in the sense that I have a request. There are certain things going on, Your Honor, that I'm supervising and coordinating at the moment. I was going to ask the court for tomorrow morning. Because
Denied.
we should have these things resolved by tomorrow morning. They're very late breaking, and the investigative efforts will be determinative.
Come on up here.
Hey, Judge Ito, this court reporter can't drag that thing over and over all day long because you don't want to make a decision. Oh my gosh, they're still talking about it. All he said was, oh my gosh, look how long this is. Okay. Oh, I like that color. It would be a bit much.
Your panel.
That was yesterday's color, too.
All right, Mr. Blazier.
Same day.
Ms. Brockbank? Ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Brockbank, I'd like to ask you some questions about the carpet sample. That's item number 33, is it not?
Yes.
Now, how large a sample was that, or is it?
I didn't measure it, but it's probably 2 to 3 feet long and 1.5 to 2 feet across.
It's a somewhat large and bulky item, is it not?
Yes.
You can't put it in an envelope.
No.
That's what she
Would
said.
it be fair to say that it probably has thousands and thousands of fibers in it from the Bronco?
I would imagine so, yes.
Now, did you take note, when you ultimately examined it, did you take note of the edges of where it was cut in terms of how much of the circumference around it was carpet as opposed to rubber matting? You know what I'm
I know what you're asking, and I believe all of it was.
Was carpet?
I believe so.
And did you make any note of
also
what
know
kind
what
of
you're
cutting
asking.
device was used on the carpeting to see how rough or smooth the edge was?
No.
Is it your experience in working with fiber evidence that fibers from a carpet like that come off?
Yes?
And particularly if you cut along an edge of a carpet like that, it tends to cause things along the edges to fall off too, doesn't it?
Yes?
Now, that item was too big to be stored in a bag, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So it was stored, the first time you saw it, it was wrapped up in a piece of paper.
That's correct.
And it was in box number 2, right?
Yes, I believe so.
You want to double check that?
Yes, if I could. Yes, it was in what I designated box number 2.
And when you first saw that, it was June 21st, was it not?
Yes.
Did you get box number 2 from the evidence control unit?
Yes, I did.
And you took it in, where did you take it first?
Into the trace unit?
You opened the box and this large thing in paper was there.
Yes.
And it was there in the same box as several other evidence items, correct?
Yes.
Was it your intent at that time to examine the carpet?
Not at that time, no.
What was your purpose in opening box number 2 at that time?
To examine the 2 gloves and the 2 hats that were also in that box.
Had you been given some instructions to examine just those items and no other items?
Yes.
So you did not conduct a close inspection of the carpet or the container that it was wrapped in, did you?
Other than to know it was paper wrapped and sealed, and no.
Well, when you say sealed, did you examine it carefully to determine that every seam in the paper that might lead to the inside was covered with tape?
Not every seam. I mean, it was closed with tape. There were no, large gaps. I couldn't see any carpet sticking out of any orifices.
But you didn't carefully check each possible opening in the seam, did you, for tape?
Inch by inch, no.
Okay. Did you even know it was a carpet in there?
At that time, no.
Now, you had no knowledge at that time that you might be comparing fibers from that object with evidence items that were contained in the same box, did you?
No, I did not.
Now, that carpet fiber, you've seen individual fibers from the Bronco carpet, haven't you?
Since that time, yes.
And the ones you've seen are tan nylon fibers, correct?
I believe so, yes.
The color also described is rose beige as well, same color.
Yes.
Now, that box that contained the carpet wrapped up in paper was the same box that contained the
But
Rockingham
you
glove
don't have a
in
new
a
shirt.
paper bag,
do you?
correct?
You don't
Yes.
have a new shirt.
The same bag, the same box, excuse me, that contained the knit cap.
Yes.
Same bag that contained the Bundy glove. I'm sorry, same
Mistake.
box that contained the Bundy glove.
Yes.
How was the paper folded that contained the carpet? Or did you even notice that?
At that time, no, not really.
Did you actually take the packet of carpet outside of the box on that time?
No, I didn't.
So it was left inside the box.
Yes, it was.
Did you ever take it out during that particular examination on the 21st?
No.
So is it fair to say that you did not conduct a careful examination of the inside of the box to see whether there might be any carpet fibers that have gotten out of the package or under the package in the corners of the box?
No, I did not.
I don't mind being at a hospital. I don't like the reasons why I have to be at a hospital. All right, because somebody's injured, somebody's sick, somebody's not okay. But, like, it's the only place in the world besides jail that I can say to other people in my life, I can't help you right now, I'm at the hospital. I can't do that, I'm at the hospital. Nope, no, I can't come to work. No, I can't come and pick you up. No, I can't do this. No, I can't feed the cats. No, I can't take the trash out. No, I can't cook dinner. No, I can't do that right now. I'm at the hospital. And just those words, I'm at the hospital, means that everybody leaves me alone. Because I'm at the hospital. Whether I'm there for me or someone else, it doesn't even matter. And not only that, when I'm at the hospital, for any reason at all, I'm the one not having to make any decisions. So the nurses will get another blanket. The doctor will say, you have to take this medicine. You know, they tell you you can sleep as much as you want in a hospital. Not a lot, because people keep coming in and waking you up, but you can sleep whenever you want. And everybody else is making the decisions for you. And then sometimes there's this little button. Not often. It's rare. But sometimes you get this little button that you can press that makes the hospital way better than home. way better. So now I don't mind when I'm at the hospital, because I can just relax and let other people do everything. Nope, sorry. What? You're stuck in New York City? Anthony, how did you get there? Oh, well, I can't help you. I'm at the hospital. Now I'm going to go to the hospital today.
The first thing that you did after you opened that box was to look at the Rockingham glove.
The first thing I did after opening the box, I believe I examined the hats first and then the gloves.
Now, did you examine the Rockingham glove first? Or the
That
Bundy
would
glove
be
first? Or do you
item
remember?
number 9, I
Yeah.
believe I examined first, yes.
Now, when you looked at the Rockingham glove, it was in a bag, correct?
Yes?
You opened the bag. Did you take out the glove before you looked in the bag?
Yes. Well, I open the bag, I look in the bag, I see the glove, so I take the glove out.
Okay, so you take the glove out. Then did you examine the glove or did you examine the bag? Or do you remember?
Well, I took the glove out, laid it on my piece of paper, and then I look in the bag again.
And when you looked in the bag, you saw some debris.
Yes.
Could you tell when you looked in the bag, before you emptied it, whether there was a tan carpet fiber in the debris in the bag?
No.
When you emptied out the bag, can I assume that you held it with one hand and had the other hand out like I'm doing and dumped the bag out into your hand?
No.
How did you do it?
I held the bag with one hand, and I reached in with the other and got what I could see, and kind of tapped the bag over a piece of paper.
So in addition to reaching in and removing something, you tapped the bag so that anything that might be on the bag would go on the paper.
Yes.
Did you note whether, once everything was on the paper, did you see a tan carpet fiber?
I got to take my
tan
daughter to
fiber.
work. I'll be right back.
No.
You have no way of knowing if there was a tan fiber in there, whether it came from the inside or the outside of the glove bag, do you?
No.
you wouldn't, would you agree that it is not an appropriate procedure, had you known, to store that large piece of carpet in the same box with evidence items from which you're going to ultimately do some comparison?
As far as that fiber evidence,
Yes.
if it probably would not be my first choice.
Okay. You'd want to keep those separate before you do any kind of comparison to prevent the possibility that they got cross-contaminated without you knowing about it.
That's correct.
Now, paper bags, a lot of times with this kind of evidence, are used because they're porous and they allow air to go through to dry things. Is that one reason why paper bags are used?
Yes.
But paper bags have a lot of little seams and creases in them on the inside and the outside that can catch things, don't they?
Where the bottom's kind of glued shut, I guess there are some creases there, yes.
And that's one of the reasons why, rather than just looking in and reaching in and getting debris, you turn it over and you tap it to make sure that things that might have adhered to either the outside or the inside fall off.
Well, what I'm trying to get is the stuff from the inside, but there may inadvertently be something on the outside.
The sample, the debris that was on the paper after you turned the bag over from the Rockingham glove, did you assign that a number?
That was all part of item number 110.
And item number 110 was all of the things that you had removed, all the debris that you had removed from that particular glove over the various times that you looked at it.
Yes.
That particular bindle, when you went to Washington, that was one of the ones that you took with you, was it not?
Yes, it was.
And was that opened by Mr. Dietrich in your presence, or
Yes.
opened by you in his presence?
Opened by him in my presence.
And he marked each of the bindles that you had prepared from not only that item but other items were marked right at that time when they were opened.
Yes, they were.
What was the marking given, what was the number given to that particular bindle? That is the one, the debris from the Rockingham glove bag that you turned over and tapped.
It was given a Q number, and I don't know it off the top of my head, and I didn't record it in my notes.
Would it be on the picture there? Would you be able to see it from the picture?
Probably.
Maybe we can put this down so that you can look at it closely. You see item 110 over on People's number 443? 436?
Make it up.
Sure. Second one down from the right, on the right from the top.
Yes.
Now, FBI number is indicated as Q3A, B, and C. Is that consistent with your recollection?
Again, I didn't make any note of it. According to the chart, that's the number he assigned.
Can you look at the picture? Each bindle was marked Q3A, B, or C, was it not?
Yes.
In your presence?
Yes.
Can you see that picture closely enough to tell what the marking was on the debris from the bag from the Rockingham glove?
The descriptions of the bindles are actually on the other side of the bindles,
Okay.
so I can't really tell you. They are marked Q3, A, B, and C, but I don't know which one's A, which one's B, which one's C.
Okay. Check. I'm just mark the check so we can stipulate to that. Now was it two other occasions that you examined that particular glove and removed debris from the glove?
On one other occasion.
One other occasion, and that was what date?
On June 23rd.
Let me, I have a picture of what's on the board. Can you put that on the envelope? We can make that 23.
Has this photograph been marked, Mr. Bridges?
No, this is from the, it's a photograph from the board.
All right.
It's the second,
It's as to item which?
that's item number 110.
All right, thank you. That'll identify the photograph.
Ms. Clark is prepared to stipulate that that debris item is Q3C. And we'll double check just to make sure, but,
All right.
okay.
All right, thank you, counsel.
Now, the debris that was in that bag, or that wound up on the paper on the table, you have no way of knowing when that, or if it even came off of the glove, do you?
The glove is the only item that was in that bag, so I would feel fairly certain that it did come off that glove, yes.
But you have no idea when, do you?
When it came off the glove? Sometime after or during the process of putting it in the bag, I would guess.
Okay, but the procedure that's used at SID, well, let me withdraw that. Your procedure is that when you remove debris from an evidence item, you put it in a separate bindle rather than just putting it back in the bag with the original item, correct?
Yes.
And do you also do that if you are examining an item like you did with the Rockingham glove and find debris in the bag? You preserve that in a separate bindle, marked, dated, initialed, so that you can go back and reconstruct when that debris got there, don't you?
Yes.
Now, when you're examining an item and debris winds up on your paper, sometimes you just pour it back in the bag rather than putting it in a separate bindle, correct?
I don't follow you. Could you?
I think you described sometimes, for instance, I think when you were examining the shirt or maybe some of the other clothing items where you put them on the paper to examine them, put them back in their bag, and if you see any debris on the paper, you fold a crease in the bottom of it and pour it back in the bag.
No, I don't believe I testified to that.
Okay. When that happens, what do you do with what you find on the paper?
I would place it in a bindle and mark it.
Okay, and that's the proper procedure anytime something falls off of an item.
That's what I would do, yes.
When you examined the Rockingham glove after preserving the debris in the bag, did you ever see a tan carpet fiber from the glove?
I may have seen a tan carpet fiber, but not recognized it as such. When I was examining, the items and picking off hairs and fibers, as I'm picking them off, I'm seeing them, but I may not know them for what they are, as far as a tan carpet fiber. So it may have been there, but I didn't know until later that there was a tan carpet fiber there.
You're not aware of anything that you picked off the glove that was a tan carpet fiber?
Sustained.
Now, when you looked at the Rockingham glove, one of the things that you told us you did is that you removed some debris from the wrist area.
Yes.
And describe that debris to me again.
I believe it was hairs and fibers. And as I recall, it was kind of stuck to the glove.
On the inside or the outside, do you know?
On the outside.
Now, you indicated that the wrist was folded up and disturbed in some fashion, I think, is what you said. Remember that?
Yes.
And when you say folded up, do you mean that it looked like it had been maybe turned over as if someone were looking at the edging or the seam or the inside part around the wrist?
No.
How do you mean folded up?
I mean, the hem was kind of pulled out of shape. It was distorted.
And then you did examine the hem itself and saw that some of the thread from the hem had been taken out.
Yes.
Do you know who did that?
No.
So you don't know whether that was done by Dennis Fung or Andrea Mazzola or Colin Yamauchi before you got the glove?
I don't know if it was done by anyone or whether that was just damage to the glove that existed when it was collected.
Have you ever seen a picture of the Rockingham glove after it was collected from Rockingham and after it got to the lab, but before it got to you?
Yes.
And where have you seen that picture?
I probably looked at it when I was in the lab. I think Dennis Fung had some photographs of the gloves taken after collecting it, but before I got it.
After collecting it at the lab?
The pictures were taken at the lab.
And these were pictures that, when were you shown those pictures?
I don't know. It was sometime actually after I had examined the gloves.
Do you know whether those pictures were taken before or after he examined the Rockingham glove at the lab?
That I don't know.
Now, in the bag with the Rockingham glove, was there a hair bindle that had been removed by Dennis Fung?
No.
Do you remember the pictures that you saw of the glove at the lab before you got it? Did it have Colin Yamauchi's initials around the wrist area?
I don't recall.
Did it have any cuttings taken out of it? close visual exam like you've described for the knit cap where you hold it up to your eyes and roll every part of it so that you can see everything that's on it?
Yes, I did.
And is that generally, in your experience, satisfactory for seeing hairs and fibers that you need to collect?
Yes, it has been.
Do you remember seeing anything on the Rockingham glove at the time that you did that close examination that looked like tissue?
Body tissue?
Yes.
I remember seeing what appeared to be blood, but tissue specifically, not that I recall.
And would it be part of your procedure that had you seen something like that, you would have preserved it or called it to somebody's attention or made some record of it?
I may have. I don't know. I don't know that I would have.
But you don't recall seeing anything like that, do you?
No, I don't recall.
Now, I want to ask you about the knit cap. That's item number 38, correct?
Yes.
You described in some detail how you examined the hat, both inside and out. And I was a little confused by some of the steps. Did you look at the outside of the cap first?
Yes, I did.
And did you do that close examination that you described to us on the outside of the cap first?
Yes.
And while you were doing that, the hat was over the piece of paper,
Yes.
and presumably the inside of the hat was exposed to the paper while you're looking at the outside? Or did you make some effort to keep the inside of the hat from being exposed to the paper? You understand what I'm asking?
I think I do.
Did you hold it right side up? Or?
Right, and I don't know the answer. I don't remember how I held the hat.
Okay, so it's possible that you held it in a way that debris from the inside might fall down on the paper.
Possibly. I don't remember observing anything falling, just only what I was picking off.
And the things that you picked off, what did you do with them?
Place them into a bindle,
Where did you have that bindle?
just to the side. So I was holding the hat here, there's a large piece of paper here, and the bindle was right to the side here.
Now, when you did the inside of the hat, you used the same procedure,
Yes.
and you turned the hat inside out.
Yes.
Did you change paper?
Yes. Or, no, I'm sorry. No, I didn't.
You left the same paper there.
Yes.
Now, the hairs and fibers that you picked off the inside of the hat, what did you do with those?
I put them in a separate paper bindle.
Now, that separate paper bindle, was that sitting on the table right next to the hat?
Yes, similar to what I just described.
Open?
It would be open when I place something in it and then I close it.
So each time you place a new hair or fiber in there, you would close it?
Yeah, I fold it over.
Fold it over completely like you do when you store it?
Well, not completely. It's a trifold, both ways, and I would fold it over one way, not the complete folding.
And was the bindle from the outside hairs that you'd collected and fibers also sitting there at the same time?
No.
Now, I think you described that after you went through that process, you then scraped the outside, or shook it gently.
Yes, just gently kind of scrape with my hands to see. And, well, I did the inside first as far as the scraping goes.
And then you turned it back outside and did the outside.
Yes.
What was the color of that knit cap? What was the color of the fibers in it?
It was dark blue.
Did you see any tan nylon fibers in that cap at any time?
Again, I may have seen them and not recognize them for what they were.
You recall?
But I don't recall specifically seeing a nylon carpet fiber.
Okay, and the color tan is substantially different than the color of the cap, is it not?
Yes.
Would that make it easier to see a tan fiber in that color hat than if it were a closer color to the hat?
It would make it easier to see, I would think, but when I'm removing trace evidence, I'm not making a note of every little thing that I'm seeing,
Okay.
if you follow me.
Mhm.
So I may have seen it, it may have been there, I may have removed it, and just not made a cognitive note of it.
Okay. You have a minute, Sharon? First, for the cap.
Yes.
How many bindles did you make from your examination of the cap that day?
I believe I made 3. One of the hairs and fibers removed from the inside, one from hairs and fibers removed from the outside, and I believe there was one with debris, like plant material.
Was that debris that had been in the bag, or debris that had fallen off while you were doing your examination, or debris that you had separated from hair and fiber?
I don't really recall. I think it could have been a combination of all of those.
And do you feel fairly confident that from your careful examination of the cap that you noticed and removed all of the hairs and fibers of interest from that cat?
All of them that I could see, yes, I did remove.
Now, do you know what numbers your bindles were assigned at the FBI?
Again, no.
Okay. Um, that item of evidence was taken to the FBI by you in August to be examined by you and Mr. Dietrich, correct?
Yes.
Now, were you present when he physically examined the knit cap?
Yes.
Did you see him conduct his examination?
Yes.
How did he examine the hat? Just briefly describe what technique he used to examine the hat.
He had it on a lab bench, which he had covered with paper, and I believe he used a magnifying device to observe the hat, and he was rolling it between his fingers, looking and picking things out. I don't remember if he scraped it or not. I don't really recall that.
Now, he prepared a bindle of additional things that he found on the hat that you hadn't, did he not?
I believe he did.
And were you present at the lab when he was examining items of evidence that had come from the Bronco, namely the shovel, the plastic bag, and the towel?
I was present there while he examined quite a lot of evidence, and but I wasn't, standing over his shoulder every minute. I was in another part of the lab, and he'd kind of call me over when he found something interesting he wanted me to look at, basically.
Is it accurate that he examined many things from the Bronco just prior to the time that he examined the knit cap? Or do you know?
I have no idea.
You indicated that you found some animal hairs inside the Bundy glove. Do you remember that?
I believe I did,
Now, animal hairs are fairly easy to distinguish between human hairs, are they not?
usually.
And with animal hairs, again, you're looking at some characteristics to the hair color as well, correct?
Yes.
Dogs are a little more difficult to do comparisons with because they may have several different colors in their coats, correct?
I've never performed any comparisons with animal hairs.
Okay. When you found the animal hair inside the Bundy glove, do you remember how far inside the glove it was?
No.
But it was inside the glove.
Yes.
Now, is that an example, assuming that the dog wasn't wearing a glove, of how hair and fiber from one source through several transfers can wind up in another place, such as inside a glove?
I think that would be a good example.
Okay.
I don't think many dogs wear gloves.
So would you agree that the fact that you might find a hair inside of something like a glove doesn't necessarily mean it came from a hand inside the glove? You described when you examined Mr. Goldman's jeans that they were heavily soiled. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And by that, do you mean that they had a lot of dirt on them
Yes.
in all different locations on the jeans?
I don't remember specifically what locations, but I do remember there was a heavily soiled area.
You, consistent with someone moving around in the dirt a lot?
I don't know. Someone laying in the dirt, perhaps.
Well, did you notice whether it was limited to one side, the same side of the jeans that the body was found on? Did you make any note of that?
I didn't make any note of that. I don't, at that point in time, I don't know that I'd ever seen the photographs. I don't really know how the body was laying. But I do vaguely remember that there was like a concentration in one general area. I don't remember what area.
Okay. When you examined Mr. Goldman's shirt, were there any buttons missing?
I don't know.
Did you ever conduct an examination to determine whether any buttons had been ripped off of his shirt?
No, I did not.
You can tell by looking at thread from where a button comes off whether it's been ripped off a shirt or cut off, can't you?
I would think you might be able to. That's something I've never done.
Did anyone, to your knowledge, examine the shirt to determine whether any buttons were missing?
Thank you. No one did that to my knowledge.
I want to ask you a couple of questions about the bags that came from the coroner's office with the clothing. You recall testifying about that?
Yes.
And you conducted an examination of those bags on what date?
That would be the same date I examined the clothing, which would have been July 27th.
July 27th?
Yes.
And those were bags that did not have the clothing in them, but had been stored in the same, was it in a box? Was all the clothing in one box?
All the victims' clothing was in one box. Each item was in its own individual bag, and then there was this bundle of bags from the coroner's office.
And your understanding that the bags that the clothing were in had been supplied by Denise Lewis, or she had put the clothing from the coroner's bags into new bags?
That was my understanding.
As far as you know, was your examination of the old bags the first examination that was done at LAPD to see whether there was any debris in the bags?
I believe so, yes.
Now, with items of clothing, especially, let's say a pair of pants that's heavily soiled, has a lot of blood on it, those are the kinds of items that can very easily shed things when they're put in bags, taken out of bags, put back in bags, can't they?
I would think the soil would tend to fall off.
You would expect to find debris in a bag if it contained an article like that for any significant period of time.
I would expect that, yes.
Now, the clothing had been at the coroner's office from June 14th until the lab received it on the 27th. Is that your understanding?
I don't know when the lab received it.
Now, when you looked at the bags, you looked at the shirt bag first?
Can I refer to my notes?
Sure.
No, I examined the jeans first, then the socks, then the shirt.
The jeans, then the socks, then the shirt. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Is your understanding that the socks were in a different bag at the coroner's office from the jeans?
Oh, I think maybe I'm thinking of something different. Did you say when I examined the clothing, or the original bags the clothing were in?
The original bags from the coroner's office that the clothing had been while it was at the coroner's office.
Those bags, I don't know what order I examined them in.
Okay. Now, when you examined, however, the bag that had contained the shirt, there was debris in it, as you might expect, was there not?
There was some debris in it.
And did you preserve that in the way that you've described?
Yes.
When you examined the bag that had supposedly contained the pants and the socks of Ronald Goldman, there was no debris in it, was there?
None that I observed.
Is it fair to say that it was consistent, that the appearance of that bag was consistent with nothing like the pants and the socks having been in it and shed any debris?
There was no debris like hairs and fibers that I observed.
And when you examined the bag from the coroner's office that had supposedly contained Nicole Brown Simpson's dress and panties, there was nothing in it, was there?
I did not observe anything,
There was
no.
no debris, was there?
I did not observe any, no.
You have no way of knowing, you have no personal knowledge, no way of knowing whether or not the victim's clothing at some point was all stored in the same bag, do you?
I have no personal knowledge of that at all, no.
When you were back in Washington, you testified that a number of things, exemplar samples were sent back from here while you were there, correct?
Yes.
And they included exemplars, fibers taken from various places in the Bronco, correct?
Yes.
And were you present when Mr. Dietrich examined those different exemplars?
I may have been in the lab. Again, I wasn't standing over his shoulder watching him work.
Do you know whether or not those exemplars contained many different kinds of fibers from the Bronco, in addition to just the tan nylon fiber?
That I don't know.
You told us about how a very, very small fiber had been removed from a piece of tissue at the coroner's office. Remember that?
Yes.
Was there a black and white videotape made of that?
There was a videotape. I don't recall really whether it was black and white or not. It may have been black and white. It was made by Steve Dowell.
And how long was this videotape?
I don't know.
And the videotape was to preserve him or you removing this fiber from this piece of tissue.
Him. He removed it. I did not.
Did you see what he did with this videotape?
No.
You have a minute, John?
Certainly.
All right, thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Brockbank, you indicated in your notes when you did that a video was taken, did you not?
Can I look at my
Sure.
notes? Yes, I did.
Now, at some point you described, and we mentioned this briefly before, that police officers were sent back to Mr. Goldman's apartment to look for hair exemplars from a hairbrush, correct?
Actually, it wasn't Mr. Goldman's apartment. It was to his parents'
family.
home.
And that the purpose of doing that was just to find an exemplar, additional exemplars, correct?
Yes.
Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions about the March 4th visit to the lab where I was present and other people were present who you described yesterday. You remember that?
Yes.
Was your understanding that the purpose of that visit was for members of the defense to examine articles that were there at the lab made available to us?
Yes.
Were you present when the boxes were opened that had come back from Albany?
I don't know if I was there when the boxes were opened or not. I was in the room where you were looking at paperwork, which was separate from the room where they were looking at evidence.
Was one of your responsibilities that day to make sure that all of the bindles containing possible hair and trace evidence that were supposed to be in those boxes were actually there?
No. I was just asked to observe and take notes of what was being examined.
Who had that responsibility?
Well, some facts not known. Rephrase the question.
Do you know if anyone had that responsibility?
I don't know.
Did you at some time during that day become aware that a bindle was missing from the box?
I believe someone mentioned that, yes.
Okay. And do you recall that being a bindle that Dr. Lee had put in the box of debris from the hat, the knit cap?
I remember.
Oral.
I remember someone saying something to that effect.
All right, that'll
Had-
be stricken then. That's hearsay. Juries to disregard.
Have you made any effort to locate any bindles that are unaccounted for from that evidence?
No, I haven't not.
Are you aware of your own personal knowledge of anyone conducting any kind of an inquiry at LAPD or the DA's office to try and find any missing bindles?
Oral.
I'm not aware of that.
Ms. Brockback, I want to ask you some questions about the socks, item number 13. You indicated that at some point, I believe it was on August 4th, that Colin Yamauchi directed your attention to some fibrous material on the socks.
Yes.
Now, you had examined some evidence for hair and trace evidence from this case on June 21st, correct?
Yes.
June 23rd,
Yes.
July 27th.
Yes.
Any other dates before August 4th that you had specifically been assigned the duty to examine evidence for hair and trace evidence?
I could go through my book and read you all the dates.
Okay, there are other dates, aren't there?
Probably, yes.
How many times between when you started working on the case on the 21st and August 4th did you conduct examinations of the physical evidence in this case for hair and trace evidence? Just give me an approximate number of times.
Maybe 20. I don't know if even that many. I'd really have to count through my notes to give you an exact number.
Is that probably close, 20 times?
I think that would be close.
And the socks, item 13, were contained in what box?
Box number 2.
And after June 21st, when you got box number 2 until August 4th, where was that box kept?
In the serology freezer.
So it was never sent back to the evidence control unit to be re-barcoded into their security system, was it?
Not to my knowledge.
Between June 21st and August 4th, you never looked at the socks, did you?
No.
Did anyone direct you to look at the socks between June 21st and August 4th?
No.
Now, on August 4th, I take it you were examining items in the trace unit?
Yes.
What items were you examining?
Can I refer to my notes?
Sure.
Actually, the only notes I have for August 4th is just the removal of evidence from those socks. So I must have been working on other cases that day.
So you weren't even in the process of looking at evidence in this case for hair and trace evidence, were you?
No.
Now, do you know how Mr. Yamauchi, or at what point he went and got the socks from box number 2?
No.
But when he summoned you to the serology unit, he already had the socks in front of him out of the bag?
Yes.
Both socks together
Yes.
on the same piece of paper,
Yes.
being examined at the same time?
Yes.
And he came to ask you to look at something on the socks, correct?
Yes.
And you looked and you saw,
Some fibrous material.
what does that mean?
Something that could be a fiber or a hair. I'm not really sure just by looking at it, so I call it fibrous.
Okay, it's not like a clump of anything, is it? It's just,
It could be. Could be a clump.
it's very small, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't recall it being very large.
Now, do you know whether or not Mr. Yamauchi, let me rephrase this. Did you see the bag in which, or the envelope in which the socks had been stored?
I believe there was a bag off to the side, off to the
No, that doesn't count, Josh. That does not count. That's a different kind of mute. That doesn't count. I'm all riled up. So that one doesn't count. Hi guys, I'm back. Call me stupid, but the things that he's asking might sound bad, but doesn't make sense. Like, were the panties kept with the dress? Did they touch while she was being slightly decapitated, didn't her panties and dress, weren't they touching? Did they, is there a magic barrier in between clothes while she was being brutally murdered that they didn't already touch? So if they're all collected in the same bag, what does it matter? The glove might have had blood on the front but not on the back, but when they put it in the evidence bag, the back got bloody. Should they have cut the glove in half? Of course they were touching. She was wearing them both. just all right, all right, all right. No, that doesn't count. No, that doesn't count. That's not the beginning of the stream mute. This is a different mute. No. I'm putting my foot down. But it Ron's socks. Okay, they were on 2 different feet. That's a huge stretch. But if there is a crime and they take all the clothes off one person's body and throw them in a bag, that is good enough. That is fine with me. I don't feel that that is an issue, because you know, my one toe is touching my other leg right now, right as I'm sitting. My one right leg is touching my left leg. I don't have socks on, but if I had socks on, they would be touching. So all these questions, it doesn't matter. If all their clothes were touching each other, it doesn't matter. They're wearing them. You know what I mean? I'm touching my shirt, I'm touching my pants. Whatever's on my shirt is now on my pants. It's probably cat hair, but, you know, could be something else. So, yeah, her panties touched her dress while she was frickin' being murdered. So, yeah, they can go in the same bag. And it's not like, but they didn't find any blood on her panties. Oh, okay, so obviously she wasn't murdered then. Our bad. Sorry. OJ, you can go home. Stupid. It's just stupid. Their questions makes it sound bad. Like, oh my God, the panties touched the dress. The evidence must all be just thrown away. What? And the jury, what are they thinking? Are they thinking that if the panties touched the dress while they were in evidence, that contaminated everything? Is that what they were thinking?
The side of that piece of paper, on the piece of paper.
He was taking no precautions whatsoever to protect one sock from cross-contaminating the other, was he?
You're an idiot,
I
sir.
believe both socks were contained in the same bag, so no, he wasn't.
And that's because they had already been cross-contaminated by being stored together, right?
Sustained.
Well, they'd been stored together, hadn't they? Isn't that your understanding?
Yes.
Which is fine with me.
Now, I think you testified yesterday that after you took that fibrous material off of the sock, you changed your gloves in the paper. Did you say that?
I don't know that I said that after the socks.
I mean, you left the socks there with Colin Yamauchi, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did.
Did you see whether or not he changed his gloves before he went on to another item or changed paper?
Since I had left the room, no. I don't know what he did after I left.
Did you notice whether or not the socks, once Colin Yamauchi had taken them out of the bag and put them down on the paper together, whether they were turned inside out or inside in?
I don't know whether they were inside out, right side out, which is why I just collected what I did from inside and outside and placed that all in one bundle.
Do you know whether or not the fibrous material that you took was on the inside or the outside?
No.
And can I take it you don't know whether it was the right sock
Or
or
the left sock. That would be correct also.
Now I want to ask you some questions about the gloves. You measured the evidence gloves, I'm talking about the Rockingham and Bundy glove, for the first time on June 21st, correct?
Yes.
And they were dry at the time you measured them, correct?
Yes.
Now, would you agree that there was a difference between the Bundy glove and the Rockingham glove in terms of the apparent blood stains on them?
Yes.
There was less apparent blood stains on the Bundy glove than on the Rockingham glove.
As I recall, the Bundy glove, which was 37, had kind of a heavy stain near the wrist area, and the other glove, the Rockingham glove, just seemed kind of not a real heavy stain in any one location that I recall, but just kind of an all-over stain look to it.
There were unequal amounts of apparent blood between the two gloves.
That's how it appeared to me, yes.
When you measured those two gloves on the 21st, the two evidence gloves, they were the same size, weren't they?
On the 21st,
Approximately.
they were within a half an inch. All the measurements were within a half an inch.
Well, they were closer than that, weren't they?
I think it was a half an inch.
Okay.
I got breakfast
There were,
today
yes, there
because
were
I
some
was
fingers that
starving.
were as far off
McDonald's. I got
Which is bigger?
ass coffee from McDonald's.
Um,
Oh. Oh.
as the item number 37, which is the Bundy glove.
Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, McDonald's. I can't even tell you which tastes the worst because they all taste equally just horrible coffee. Why in the world do they sell an uncountable amount of coffee every day when it just tastes so bad? I mean, you would think McDonald's would have coffee that, you know, is like everything else. Everybody gets addicted to it. This just is vile. It tastes vile. And thank goodness I have one sip left, and then that's it. I'm out, and I don't want any more. But yeah, when I got home from work yesterday, I was so tired I just fell asleep until this morning. So I was starving when I woke up, and I already ate breakfast. I ate breakfast as soon as my stream started. Not OJ, my other stream. That was delicious, by the way.
Was bigger than the other one.
What was bigger?
And how many
That's what
fingers?
she said.
In every finger except the thumb. The thumb, the measurement was, well, no, actually it was bigger than the thumb. On item number 9, I described how the thumb measurement, I took 2 measurements. If the edge was actually folded under, it was 6 inches. If the edge was laid out in the distorted fashion that it wanted to lay, it was 6.5 inches, whereas the item number 37 in its normal state folded under was 6.5 inches.
Okay.
So,
Now, you measured those gloves again, the evidence gloves, just a couple of days ago, didn't you?
yes, I did.
And that was right here back in the jury room, wasn't it?
Yes.
The evidence gloves, just a couple of days ago, were the same size, approximately, as they were a year ago, correct?
There was a little bit of variation.
The right glove was actually a little bit bigger. The Rockingham glove was a little bit bigger than it was a year ago, correct?
Yes.
And those gloves had been frozen, thawed, quite a number of times between when you measured them last year and you measured them a couple of days ago, correct?
I would imagine so.
There was no indication that freezing and thawing had caused those gloves to change size in any respect, correct?
Sustained.
Was there anything done to those gloves other than freezing and thawing? Well, let me withdraw that. And you have no personal knowledge that the gloves, the evidence gloves, were any different in size on June the 12th than they were on June the 21st of 1994 when they were measured for the first time, do you?
Oh, well.
Could you repeat that question?
You have no knowledge, no personal information indicating that those gloves, the evidence gloves, were any different size on June the 12th, the night of the murders, than they were on June the 21st when they were first measured by your agency.
Since I did not measure them on the 12th, I have no idea what size they were on that night.
Now, you were asked to measure some extra large gloves that Miss Clark had upstairs a couple days ago, were you not?
Could
Or
you say that
down
again?
here? You were asked to measure some extra large gloves, aerosol gloves, that Miss Clark gave you a couple of days ago in the courtroom, correct?
I believe it was in her office.
And would you agree that the measurements you took of each of those 2 gloves, the new gloves, they were both considerably larger than the evidence gloves?
Yes, they were.
And in fact, those 2 gloves differed from left hand to right hand. They weren't a uniform size, were they?
Which 2 gloves are we talking about?
The new gloves, the new extra larges that you looked at.
Could I refer to my notes?
Sure.
Those 2 gloves did show a little variation from one to the other to within 1/4 inch.
But they were both substantially larger than the evidence gloves.
Yes, they were.
And you have no information,
Oh, well.
and you have no information indicating that the evidence gloves shrunk between June the 20th and 21st of 1994 and when you measured them 1 year later, do you?
Sustained.
Now, you're aware of the efforts made in this case to try and identify shoe prints left at the crime scene, are you not?
Somewhat.
And the extensive efforts to try and find any records indicating that Mr. Simpson ever owned a particular pair of shoes?
Sustained.
Did you or anyone with the Los Angeles Police Department, to your knowledge, attempt to determine whether hairs consistent with Mr. Simpson were present on any blankets in the condo?
I was not asked to do that.
Any bedding in the condo?
I was not asked to look at any
I'm talking
bedding.
about the Bundy condo.
Well, I was not
Any-
asked to look at any bedding.
Any clothing in the Bundy condo?
I was not asked to look at any.
Any old hats or headgear belonging to Mr. Simpson that might have been at the Bundy condo?
Could you repeat that?
Were you ever asked, or anybody at Los Angeles Police Department ever asked, to your knowledge, to examine any hats that might have belonged to Mr. Simpson that might be present at Bundy?
Objection, the calls for speculation, seems fact, not evidence, that might be.
Sustained.
Were you or anyone at LAPD ever asked to check on whether Mr. Simpson's children had any of his clothing at Nicole's condo?
I was not asked to do that.
Were you or anyone at LAPD ever asked to check the carpeting in Nicole Brown Simpson's condo to see what kind it was?
Again, I was not asked to do that.
Were you or anyone ever asked to check the carpeting in the cars she owned to see if they had tan carpeting?
Again, no, I was not asked to do that.
Were you or anyone at LAPD, to your knowledge, ever asked to check the outside of Nicole Brown Simpson's condo in the soil areas to determine what kinds of hairs and fibers might be there through normal traffic in that area?
Again, I was not asked to do that.
Did you or anyone at LAPD, to your knowledge, ever try to find out the type or color of carpeting in the car that Mr. Goldman rode to Nicole Brown Simpson's condo that night?
I was not asked to do that.
Did you or anyone else ever check, to your knowledge, to see what kind of carpeting are in cars possessed or owned by the Brown family, who might have been frequent visitors at Nicole's condo?
I was not asked to do that.
Any cars belonging to any people that might have been frequent visitors to Nicole's condo?
I was not asked to look at any of that.
Were you ever asked to look at the carpeting in Ronald Goldman's apartment?
No.
Were you ever asked to look at any carpeting of service vehicles that might have been at Nicole's condo before the murders?
No.
Were you or anyone at LAPD, to your knowledge, asked to look at carpeting in police vehicles that might have been at the Bundy scene to determine whether they had tan carpets?
I was not asked to do that.
Was anyone, to your knowledge, asked to look to check at the homes of the police officers that were at the crime scene to see whether they had tan carpeting there?
I don't know if anyone was. I was not.
Did you or anyone at LAPD make any effort at all to try and find out who manufactured the carpet in Mr. Simpson's Bronco?
No one at LAPD, to my knowledge, did, as far as the crime lab goes.
How about any attempt to locate other manufacturers that produce the same kind of tan carpet?
Objection, it's not beyond the scope of her testimony.
I did not, and no one in the LAPD lab
What
did.
is
To my knowledge.
this one?
To my knowledge.
Josh,
Any effort that you're aware of?
Nan, can you tell me about this one? It's Black Rifle Coffee. It's called Waken the Neighbors. It's high caffeine coffee. Have you tried that one? Is that one good? It is very expensive. That's true. It's well over double what I pay. But that one looks interesting. And I'm wondering if they have this one here because I live near Philadelphia, or if you guys also have this one. It's called Spirit of 76. Medium roast. Because, I mean, that just looks like Philadelphia all over the place to me. So it could just be here because I live near Philly. The Waken the Neighbors, is it delicious, Nan? Waken the Neighbors. Oh, sure. It's right down the road. But then there's one with a dog. Loyalty roast. No one's loyal to me, so I'm going not to drink that one now. I'm not having one cup. That's not happening. I don't care how much caffeine is in there. I'm going to try it.
Or to try and find out how much of that carpeting exists?
Again, I did not do that, and no one at LAPD did, to my knowledge.
Is it accurate to say that the reason none of that was done was because the fiber in the carpeting is extremely common, and it'd be very difficult to establish where it might be found and where it
I'm
might
already
not be
going to
found?
buy some today, Josh. You don't have to send any. I'm going to get
Was
one.
any effort made, to your knowledge, by either yourself or LAPD, to try and find the availability or commonness of any fiber found in this case?
Objection, LAPD didn't do it.
Sustained. Speaking objection. Grounds is relevance. Scope.
Did you do any such research?
No, I did not.
Blazer?
Let's go, sir.
Yes, and then maybe we approach after.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our recess for the morning session. Please remember all of my admonitions to you. Don't discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Don't allow anybody to communicate with you. Don't conduct any deliberations until the matter has been submitted to you. As far as the jury is concerned, we'll stand in recess until 1 p.m. All right, and Ms. Brockbank, 1 p.m., please.
I guess I need to do some work now. Since I'm not driving, I have to fast forward this stuff.
The tape from
Never mind.
Mr.
Mr. Robertson, your name?
Tina!
Certainly.
Tina, thank
Ms.
you!
Clark hasn't arrived. yet.
Tina!
Both she and the witness.
Hold on.
Yeah, I can't pronounce that one, so you know
Forgot our
what?
court reporter wasn't here yet either.
Less caffeine. Watch your mouth, girl.
Waving to the crowd, Mr. Conklin?
I was waiting for my wife, Your Honor. That's not the crowd. That was a member of the crowd. I didn't know she was here.
Sanctions. Sanctions. I was waving to your wife, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Darden, are you able to argue this photograph issue?
Oh, he's gonna argue, all right. Don't you worry.
All right, is there anything we need to discuss that doesn't require Ms. Clark? But I'm inclined to start, counsel. Is there some reason we're waiting?
The witness isn't here.
Well, we haven't finished with, you mean Miss Brockbank?
Right. She is with Ms. Clark. There are only 4 elevators apparently that stop on this floor. And, from our floor.
Oh, the old elevator excuse, huh?
While we're waiting, we have, it looks to me like over 10 charts. We've never seen any of these. We've never seen any proofs. I don't know what they are. It's not something we're going to look at in just a couple of minutes. I don't know why we weren't provided these before.
That's why we brought him down now.
All right, these are for use with Mr. Diedrich.
Yes.
All right, and Ms. Clark, would you approach with Mr. Blazer for just a second?
I'm pre-irritated for what's about
All
to
right, Mr.
happen to
Conklin, any
us.
other comment regarding this?
Here we
No,
go.
Your Honor, I think that's a picture that would be fair for all parties. I think that it's representative of the things that Ms. Clark indicated. She wanted to show a picture of Mr. Simpson's hair. It's a picture when he's not in custody. If a man is in his 40s and he's never been in custody before this time, I think it's fair to show a picture of how he looked. And certainly this is how he looked back in June as opposed to when he's been at the police station. We would all agree that's a time of some trauma and unfairness. Even Your Honor mentioned the photograph that was used on some national publications, which wouldn't be fair. The picture they're trying to show is more akin to the national magazine's unfair pictures than that picture, which is representative of how he looks, and how he looked. So that's a point. All right.
Ms. Clark?
It's not representative, though, for the photograph of the defendant's hair. The problem with the photograph proffered by counsel today is that not only is it a black and white photograph, which doesn't accurately depict the color of the defendant's hair, but we don't know exactly when it was taken. The photograph that the people intend to use, we know was taken on June the 13th, mere hours after the murders were committed, and it is in full color as well. So, I mean, it still remains that the photograph that people have been
This is the
permitted to use
last
by the
part
court is
of
the most representative
the
and complete picture. Mr. Cochran's
27.
missing the
Oh,
point.
no,
The point is not
this is
to
part
use some
2 of the
portfolio shot,
28th.
for the defendant. The
So-
point is to show a shot of the defendant's hair that gives the most description, the most accurate description of
We'll
it, of
finish the
appearance of that hair
28th,
as of the
June
time of the murder.
28th, 1995, tomorrow.
You know, that's just, if that's, so I don't miss the point here. If they want that, we have a video of Mr. Simpson, how he appeared on June 12th in the evening hours at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. We can stop that video and take a picture of that. They want to see how he looks on that date, smiling, happy, saying goodbye to his friends at that scene. I'd be glad to do that. You know, this is not a portfolio shot. This is a shot of Mr. Simpson, and I think it's just unfair to try to take a picture of him after he's in custody, or at least been in the police station, and show it. It's a picture where he doesn't look shaven, and I asked the court to hold those two pictures up. Your Honor's fair, and what we want to do is give the jury, this is for a people's exhibit, and if they want to see how he looks, and if you want to see how he looks and want a color picture, defendant's 1003. That's how he looks. It shows him, shows that we can crop this if you want. And this is actually in color. And so, you know, we have some fundamental fairness here I think we're entitled to. That's their exhibit board, and it's clear what they're trying to do. So we just don't think that's fair. And I think Your Honor is an experienced former trial lawyer, and you understand about tactics, but I don't think that's a fair tactic. They're going to put his picture on their exhibit, then have it be a fair picture. Have him be referred to as Mr. O.J. Simpson, not the defendant. He's not nameless or faceless, and that's not a representative picture of this
I've already
man.
directed that. I've already made that order.
Yes, you did. Thank you. This is consistent with that, with your order.
All right. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, the offered picture using black and white does not show the complete hair, and the photograph that we know is dated 12/13 is a more accurate depiction, so the objection is overruled. All right, we have Ms. Brockbank available to complete. All right, and Mrs. Robertson, have we heard anything back from the coroner's office? All right, would you check on that? Then my understanding is that Mr. Blazier is going to conclude his cross-examination, reserving the right to cross-examination when that videotape becomes available. Is that my understanding correct? No, apparently Mr. Dowell was out to lunch, did not have a pager, so they wouldn't even know, they were unable to speak to him until 1 o'clock. So I'm having Mrs. Robertson make a follow-up phone call.
Josh spitting straight up facts over here.
Yes.
And I indicated at sidebar that someone left this photo album in my office. I have not previously seen these photographs, but if I have them in my possession, then the defense must have them as well. And I'm going to point them out to Mr. Blazier at this time so that he can use them to be used to our cross-examination.
Do we know who took these photos or where?
Yes, Your Honor. It is indicated in the call sheet, June the 14th, MW, I believe that's Mike Wilson, and it says location SID Crime Lab. Mr. Fairlow informs me also that the defense was furnished these photographs quite a long time ago. They were numbered and furnished to them, along with the information identifying when and where they were taken.
Now, if we could maybe have this for a little while so we could compare it to what we have. I don't have any more questions to ask of her about these, but I want to make sure that we do have these.
All right. All right, excuse me, counsel. Mrs. Robertson advises me that they have, over at the coroner's office, that Dr. Lakshman and staff has located the tape, and it's on its way over.
Also, I'm not sure whether Ms. Clark was here when I raised the issue of all these new boards that are here. I just had a chance to glance at some of the pictures. I don't think we've ever been given any of the pictures that are on this board, any of these boards. We strongly object. I thought that we were supposed to have exhibits the night before a witness was to testify. And not only that, I think we're supposed to have pictures a long time in advance of the time they're being used, and we would object to
Let's
any
take
of these.
let's take a look at the boards.
Your Honor, that's not true. Mr. Diedrich sent 2 sets to the court. 1 set was for the defense, 1 set was for the people. We put ours on boards. They've got all these photographs.
Has any recollection of receiving any pictures from Mr. Diedrich from the court. I don't know whether there'd be a record of that. I've never seen them.
There should be, because we keep a log of everything that we've received and when it comes in and when it's distributed to council.
Could we check that before we get into any of this with him?
I guess we'll have to. Mrs. Robertson, would you have Mr. Byrne find the log of all that evidence?
We're checking with Mr. Diesel now.
All right, and Ms. Clark, would you can you determine the approximate time? That would help me narrow it down, because our log is chronologically kept.
Right now.
All right. These are all the photographs of the hair and fiber.
That's correct.
Hair and fiber photographs. One of the receipts. All right, it's going to check the court's log. All right, is there anything we can accomplish while we're doing that?
I have a brief amount of regret to do that. Also, you may as well look at the boards now. You have to look at them anyway, whether they have photographs or not.
We're going to try and correlate them. I know they're labeled, it's not just pictures. We're going to have to take some time to correlate the labels with the pictures.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's finish the testimony of Ms. Brockbank, and then we'll move on to the issues regarding Mr. Diedrich. All right. That'll give Mr. Burns some time to locate that matter in the log.
And Your Honor, I think the Harmon letter to Dr. Mollis at the end of today.
Yes.
Because Mr. Harmon won't be available until then.
Fine. All right, Deputy Mayor, let's have the jurors, please.
The understanding I have is that the defense expert, Myron Scholberg, was given all the photographs by Mr. Diedrich back in, I guess, September or October.
All right.
My understanding they were given a report. Is that what we were just told?
No, I thought that. That's what I thought. But I just learned he furnished them directly to the defense expert.
Well, we'll take that up as soon as we finish with Ms. Brockbank.
I'm ready.
Okay? She's ready.
She's ready.
She'd like to go home.
She's ready.
All right.
You have a short day tomorrow,
Yes, if you recollect, one of our jurors has a doctor's appointment, so we're going to break at 3 tomorrow. Is it 3 tomorrow, Mrs. Robertson? 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes, but I have here a signed receipt by...
So hold on. Show it to counsel.
All rise.
Ms. Brockbank, would you resume the witness stand, please?
Oh, we're gonna do more testimony in a murder trial? Okay, that's lovely. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, Ms. Brockbank.
Good afternoon.
You're reminded you're still under oath. And Mr. Blazer, do you have any further questions?
No further questions.
All right, thank you, sir. And Ms. Clark, do you have any redirect for Ms. Brockbank?
Yes, briefly. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Brockbank, you were asked a series of questions by counsel concerning photographs taken of the Bundy and Rockingham gloves on June the 14th in the SID crime lab.
Yes.
I'm going to show you I'd ask that this photograph be marked Peoples next in order, Your Honor. Peoples 452.
452.
452, thank you.
Photograph appears to be, say, item 9.
Item 9, and appears to have a glove with 2 rulers in it. Ms. Brockbank, do you recognize what's shown in Peoples 452?
It appears to be the glove, item number 9.
Now, did you examine this photograph in my office over the noon hour?
Yes.
And contained with this photograph, was there a tag filled out by the photographer indicating the date of June the 14th?
I didn't actually look at that.
Photograph of tag, Your Honor, has to be marked Peoples 453.
453.
You see that tag?
Yes.
And the date indicated is?
6/14/94.
And the DR number, do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what is that?
The DR number on this case.
Okay. Now, directing your attention back to Peoples 452. Item number 9, is that the Rockingham glove?
Yes, it is.
And does that appear to be the condition in which you first saw it on June the 21st?
Yes, it does.
I have another photograph, Your Honor, has to be marked Peoples 454.
454.
You described earlier, Ms. Rothbank, some damage that you saw to the hem of the glove, item number 9, the glove from Rockingham.
Yes.
Show you the item that's just marked Peoples 454. You see the hem of that glove depicted in 454?
Yes, I do.
And does that look familiar?
Yes, this photograph, just below the corner where the 2 rulers meet, you can see an area where the hemline is disturbed, and you can even see a loose thread there. Well, you can't see it very well.
Now that we've zoomed in, can you see it?
Yes, you can see that loose thread going right across the top, and still your overhead is not that clear, but the hem is, well, I mean for the jury, it's not that clear. I can see it on my monitor, but you can't really see it very well here. The hem is actually loose in that area, and that thread that you see on this monitor is from that hem being loose.
Now, you described earlier, you kept saying that the hem would, the way it would lie by itself, the way it wanted to lie,
Yes,
meaning what?
that it basically folded out flat, so that the actual edge of the leather was now at the rim of that opening rather than the fold that would be there if the hem was in place.
And it seemed to, when you just let it lie down by itself, it would lie with the hem hanging down.
Yes.
You described also item number 19 as the hair that was contained in the coin envelope, which was placed in there by Dennis Fung.
Yes.
Right, hair from the Rockingham glove.
Yes.
You recall looking at that?
Yes, I did.
I have another photograph from the June 14th series. I'd ask to be marked Peoples 455.
5.
Objection, Josh calls for speculation.
Show you Peoples 455. Do you recognize what's shown to you in this photograph bearing the item, the name, the words item 19?
Yes.
Tell us.
It appears to be the hairs and fibers, item 19, that had been removed by Dennis Fung.
And is that the way they appeared when you examined them on June 21st?
They were folded inside a paper bindle, but other than that, yes.
All right, now before you actually saw the gloves on June the 21st, had Colin Yamauchi already examined at least one of those gloves?
Yes, he had.
Now, you indicated that as far as blood-stained appearance goes, item number 9, the Rockingham glove, looked different to you
Yes, it did.
than the Bundy glove.
Yes.
With respect to item number 9, the Rockingham glove, did you observe blood there to be blood on the fingers of that glove?
It appeared to be discolored basically just all over.
Fingers, palm?
Fingers, palm, everywhere.
Now, being shown on the Elmo and on your monitor right now is photograph 452. Can you see any
caramel.
evidence of the discoloration you're
Yum.
speaking of on the finger of the glove?
Just the darkness of that brown leather that you see.
With respect to item number 37, the Bundy glove,
Jude, thank you so much. Aquanet! Yes! Beverly, the nice one. Thank you so much, Jude.
did you observe in my office over the noon hour a tag dated June the 14th, 1994, with the initials MW, underneath which there were photographs of the Bundy glove?
I didn't really look carefully at the tag, but I did see them.
Evident of the photograph of the tag, Your Honor, People's 456,
456.
and of the Bundy glove bearing item number 102, photo ID, People's 457.
So marked.
Thank you. Showing you, first of all, People's 456. You recognize that tag?
Yes,
And what is it?
it's a part of a form filled out by our photo lab. It's dated 6/14/94 with the initials MW, and then SID Crime Lab as the location.
The location where the photographs are being taken?
Yes,
And that's the date where the photographs are taken, correct?
yes,
MW, does that, do you know a photographer with those initials who works for LAPD?
yes, I do.
And his name?
Mike Wilson.
And showing you 457. Are you familiar with the system of photo ID numbers and item numbers?
Yes,
And is photo ID number 102 the photo identification number given to the Bundy glove?
I believe it was.
And showing you, and when you look at this glove, does this appear to be the Bundy glove?
Yes, it does.
Left-handed glove?
Yes,
Now, you described the condition of that glove as different in terms of being bloody than the Rockingham glove in your observation on June the 21st.
yes, I did.
Can you indicate to us on this photograph what area it was where you saw the blood primarily?
It's a little difficult to see on this photograph, but it was towards that notch area there. It was in, I'm not sure if it was even on that side. It might have been on the opposite side of the glove.
All right.
But there was a blood-stained, a heavily stained area near this end of the glove.
Sorry, let me show you another photograph.
Okay.
According to counsel. People's 458 from the same series. Showing you People's 458 now, Ms. Rothbank. Can you back up enough so she can see the item number? All right, you can see item number 102 here.
Yes,
Again, this appears to be the Bundy glove.
yes.
Can you see an area in this photograph that appears to match your recollection of the area which you've described as being mostly bloody area in this glove?
Yes, on the end, towards the right-hand side of the screen, and you're looking at a left glove here. The thumb is to the top of the screen. Near the opening on what would be the back of the hand area is a crusty stain. You can see there, part of it's actually chipped away, and that's the heavily blood-stained area that I mentioned before.
Right, indicating the area of the glove that appears to be near the label.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Towards the, it's on the back of the hand, towards the wrist area of the glove. You want to? And I'm going to ask Mr. Fairtlow to circle it. That's good. Is that accurate, Ms. Brockbank?
The circle could be a little bigger, but that's the area.
Why don't you direct the arrow?
Okay, if you start there, go over to the left, now down. Now back across towards the right. Okay, and then back up. That's better.
Thank you. Way we have this print, we'll print this and mark it 450. 458.
458A.
And that was the primary area of blood staining on that particular glove?
That was the primary area that I made notice of, yes.
Since you measured the gloves on June the 21st, have they been subjected to manipulation by various people in the course of testing?
Yes?
In the course of testing, and in fact, if people had tried the gloves on, might that cause them to stretch?
Sustained.
All right, you indicated on cross-examination that other different examiners might use different words to describe the hairs that they see under the microscope.
Yes.
When you mount hairs on a slide in per mount, is that slide and that hair then available for other examiners to look at?
Yes, it is.
And regardless of what words any examiner might use, can they all look at the same hair
Yes.
and render opinions about whether there is a match or not a match?
Sustained.
All right, in this case, you took an exemplar from Mr. Simpson of, you counted 93 hairs.
Yes.
Have you ever, and you recall what that looked like in terms of the amount that it looked like to you before you actually counted them and determined them to be 93?
Yes.
Have you ever taken that amount of hair for an exemplar before, in any other case?
Just on a gross appearance, yes.
You haven't been required to count the hairs before, have you?
No.
Or since?
No.
Now, with respect to taking exemplars, Ms. Broadbank, you were asked in this case to go and see if the Goldman family had a hairbrush that belonged to Ron Goldman.
Yes, I was.
Have you ever been asked to do that before?
No, I have not.
If you have the opportunity to take hair from a person's head, whether they are alive or not, would you prefer to do that or get the hair from a hairbrush?
I would prefer to get the hair from the actual head of the person whom that hair belongs to.
You feel that you would get a better exemplar that way?
Yes, I do.
When you take notes of the hairs that you're looking at in order to characterize what you see, whether it's questioned or known hairs, you fill out that worksheet that counsel showed you on the Elmo?
Yes.
Once you fill out that sheet, writing in notes about what you see, if you go back to look at those same hairs again on a different day, do you fill out a new worksheet?
No.
Do you add whatever you see on the second time you look at it on that old worksheet?
If I see something additional to what I saw on the first day, I might add it on there, yes.
All right, now with respect to the collection of the interior and exterior hairs and fibers on the knit cap, item number 38, did you take some precaution to prevent the mixing of the interior hair and fiber from the exterior hair and fiber?
Yes, as they were taken off the hat, they were placed in separate bindles. As I said earlier, I examined the exterior of the hat first, removed those hairs, placed them in a bindle. That bindle was placed in a coin envelope and set aside before I examined the interior of the hat. I changed, or no, I think I said I did not change my gloves. But I turned the hat inside out. I made sure there was nothing on my gloves before I turned the hat inside out. Removed the hats or hairs from the inside of the hat, placed those in a separate bindle, and so that's how they were kept separate.
So are you satisfied, Ms. Brockbank, that you did not cross-transfer the hairs between the inside and the outside of the cap?
Yes.
When you removed the shirt belonging to Ron Goldman from the bag into which it was placed by Denise Lewis, can you describe for us how you removed it from the bag?
The shirt was rather large and was inside the bag, kind of tightly packed in there. So I reached inside and pulled the shirt out with the bag basically inverted, and the shirt and any contents of the bag, I think, came out along with it, because when I looked in the bag, there was nothing remaining in that bag.
So if debris had been tapped in from the butcher paper on which the shirt had been examined, was tapped into the bag by Denise after she packaged the shirt in there, then that debris would have come out as you removed the shirt?
Yes.
You indicated on cross-examination that you did not know whether item 33 was a piece of carpet at the time that you were doing the inventory, correct?
That's correct.
Is that because you could not see any portion of carpet protruding from the packaging?
Sustained.
And why is it that you did not know it was a piece of carpet contained in that packaging for item 33?
It was completely wrapped in paper.
Was there any tear or any opening in that package that would have permitted the fibers to escape into the box in which it was contained for item 33?
None that I made any note of, none that I remember.
Well, is that something that's important to you as a hair and trace analyst?
Yes?
So if you had seen a rip or a tear in that piece, in the packaging for item number 33, is that something that would have attracted your attention?
Objection, speculation.
Sustain.
Have you ever seen packaging, items that were packaged, items of evidence that were packaged in which the packaging was torn in any other case? Has that ever happened to you?
It may have. I can't think of any particular one right offhand.
Nevertheless, the packaging of items is important to you as a hair and trace analyst, correct?
Yes,
You make note of how things appear when you make contact with them?
yes,
And you did notice specifically the appearance of item number 33 and the manner in which it was packaged?
yes,
And you have no recollection of seeing any kind of rips or tears in that packaging, correct?
that's correct.
Did you see any rips or tears in any of the individual bags containing the items like the gloves, the knit cap, or the Bronco cap?
No,
Those bags were intact and sealed?
yes, they were.
So did you see any tear or opening in any of the bags that I just mentioned for those items that would have permitted carpet fibers from item 33 to get out of the packing for item 33 and into the bags of those items, the caps and the gloves?
No,
I think you indicated that when you collect hair and fiber from items of evidence, as you're collecting, you keep the bindle folded?
yes,
Can you describe or show us with a piece of paper how you do that? One piece of paper?
yes, please.
For the record, I just torn a piece of paper off a legal pad
Yes.
and given it to the witness.
Basically, this is how I would fold a bindle. Fold the paper in thirds, as I described earlier, and then in thirds in the opposite direction. Now, in the closed condition, I would tuck one side into the other side of the bindle, so that would be completely closed. While I'm working on something, I would have had it folded in this manner.
For the record, when she says in this manner, it is folded in thirds, and the edge of the paper that is, the end of the paper is lying folded over but not completely closed down.
Yes.
I would remove the evidence, if I use the hat as an example, remove the evidence with my hands, open the bindle, place what I remove in the bindle, and then reclose it, continue on my work.
And you did that in this case for each item of evidence?
Yes, I did.
All right, now, you counted fewer hairs than Mr. Diedrich for a couple of the items of evidence that we discussed previously.
Yes, I did.
And you indicated that you did not add any hairs to those bindles yourself.
That's correct.
Now, was there any opportunity for hairs to fall into the closed bindles that were inside the closed coin envelopes that were kept inside the closed analyzed evidence envelopes?
Ever. Sustain the phrase question.
Okay. The bindles that contained the hair and trace that you put into it from each of the items of evidence, when you completed your collection, did you immediately close them?
Yes.
And by that, I mean not just fold it over the way you've demonstrated that you do during collection, but the way you indicated before with it completely folded up and tucked in.
Yes.
And so did you close them up in that manner in each instance after you collected all of the hair and trace from any particular item?
Yes, I did.
And then you indicated earlier you placed that into a coin envelope in which you tucked the flap in,
Yes.
and then placed that in an analyzed evidence envelope?
Yes.
And was that flap closed also?
Yes.
So was there any opportunity for hair or fiber to fall into any of the bindles that you kept stored in that manner?
Objection, argument calls for speculation.
No.
You indicated you collected hairs from Nicole's dog, Cato, and the defendant's dog, Chachi.
Yes, I did.
What was the demeanor of Chachi when you collected fur or hair from him?
Chachi was pretty sedate.
And what about Nicole's dog, Cato?
Foundation, irrelevant.
Sustain.
How did Nicole's dog, Cato, behave when you collected the exemplars from it?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustain.
reproach?
When did you collect this from the dog Cato?
I believe I collected the dog hairs on, was it November 30th? I could check my notes to verify that.
On the board.
On the board? I think it's November 30th.
Sustained.
Well, what was the manner you used to collect hairs from Cato?
Basically petting him and grabbing hairs as I went. Not really forcibly pulling, but gently kind of pulling and petting at the same time.
Is that the preferred method for collecting hairs from dogs?
That's how I was basically instructed to do it. This was the first time I have collected hairs from dogs.
Did you attempt to collect hair from Cato by brushing or combing?
I did bring a comb and a brush,
Lady.
and Cato.
If you need any cat hairs to go along with that, just call me. Call me. Please, call me.
Didn't like that very much, so I decided to use my hands instead.
Was Cato acting agitated with you?
Sustained.
How was Cato behaving with you?
Objection. Sustained.
May I have a moment, Your Honor? Did anybody assist you in collecting hairs from the dogs Cato and Chachi?
Overruled.
Assist in the collection?
Correct.
No.
You did that by yourself?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Mr. Blazier?
Thank you very briefly. You have a minute. Ms. Bronkbank, when you looked at the two evidence gloves, the Rockingham glove and the Bundy glove here in court the other day, did they have the same appearance as when you looked at them on the 21st, with the exception of some cuttings having been removed?
They weren't all crumpled up any longer. They seemed to be kind of laying out on their own pretty much.
Did they appear to have the same staining that they had when you looked at them on the last year on the 21st?
They appear to, yes.
So the appearance in terms of the distribution of what appears to be blood on them, to your knowledge, hasn't changed since when you saw them back on the 21st of last year to you saw them here a few days ago.
That's correct.
And the Bundy evidence glove, you compared the measurements of that left-hand glove with the left-hand new glove that Ms. Clark provided to you in court the other day, did you not?
Yes.
And that left Bundy evidence glove is considerably smaller than the left new glove.
Overruled.
It was smaller, yes.
You have a minute, Sharon? Ms. Bronkbank, when you examined box number 2 that had the gloves, the cap, and the carpet in it, you recall just being asked questions about that.
Yes.
Did you even take the carpet bindle out of the box?
I didn't take it completely out, no.
So you never even examined portions of it that might have been on the bottom that you didn't remove out of the box, did you?
Well, I did, actually. I moved it around, but didn't actually lift it and take it out of the box.
Okay, and you didn't do, so whatever examination you did of that was while it was still basically in the box.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Clark?
So you saw item 33's packaging in its entirety?
Yes.
That's all.
All right, Ms. Brockbank, thank you very much. You're excused. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to change to a different witness. There are a few things I need to take up out of your presence, so let me ask you all to step back into the jury room. We'll call you back in probably about 10 or 15 minutes. In which the photographs of the hair and fiber evidence were shared with the defense.
We had furnished counsel with a copy of the receipt signed that indicated the photographs had been turned over to Myron Schilberg. Do you have a copy? 27th, 1994.
All right, is Mr. Diedrich available?
That's where the photographs went. Mr. Longhetti was a special master assigned to help with the transfer of things to the defense expert, and this receipt shows that he signed for them picked them up on September 27th, 1994. And they were all given by Mr. Diedrich to him with directions to furnish them to Mr. Schulberg. And that was back in September. So they have them somewhere.
Well, this receipt says that Mr. Longhetti got them. I don't know whether Mr. Schulberg got them just to look at them briefly or whether he was provided a set. We're just
Well, let's
trying.
have Mr. Diedrich come on in. He's the one who directed all this, if I recollect correctly.
He doesn't know anything.
He doesn't know?
Just to save some time, Your Honor, I called
He's so
Mr. Longhetti's
tall.
office, there's no answer. I called Mr. Schulberg's home, there's no answer. I asked the gentleman from the FBI, he said he just gave them to Longhetti, and he didn't get them back from Longhetti. But he doesn't know what Longhetti did with them, if anything.
Oh, come on.
Well, the issue is what was the direction that Mr. Diedrich gave to Mr. Longhetti with regards to the photographs?
Well, none of this resolves the fact we haven't seen these boards until just now. We haven't seen them yet.
Well, they raised a discovery issue, so I'm saying
Okay.
discovery was given, and Mr. Diedrich can probably answer that question for us since he's here right now, but you...
Not
after he does
really
that,
briefly, like
I would
3
to
minutes.
show
That's
counsel
plenty of
boards that I'm
time.
about to show them.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. So,
But let's settle that one last question.
Mr. Diedrich, what, if any, instructions did you give to Mr. Longhetti when you gave him the photographs that are indicated in the receipt dated September 27th, 1994?
I was told to turn over photographs and original notes, plus the evidence for examination by the expert.
By the defense expert, Myron Schulberg?
That's right.
Examination.
Okay?
Was anything ever, after you gave these things to Mr. Longhetti for the purpose of furnishing them to Mr. Schulberg, the defense expert, did you get anything back from Mr. Longhetti?
Just the original evidence.
By that,
Not
you-
the photographs or the notes.
so the notes and the photographs did not come back to you?
Did not.
Just your slides?
Well, just the slides and some of the items that I had.
All right. Let's see the boards.
And that is our time. No boards for us. We won't get to see the boards today. But I got some exciting news for you guys. We might see them tomorrow. Uh-huh. I know. It's so hard to wait. I know. All right. We made it through another one. Let me just tell you something I haven't told you in a while. Our video count. We are at the very end of video 329. So we are close to within 100 videos left. All right, there are 493 videos in this playlist. So we're going to get there, guys. Thanks for so much for coming out. Appreciate it. I shall see you again tomorrow. Okay, Zach, let me tell you what court that is. Freaking, it makes me so angry because it's not on YouTube. Like, you can't get that from YouTube. It's Arizona, Avondale, Arizona. But since that day that I got that sub-sit in that court, so this court is really sideways. Sort of I flipped it to post it on court disorder. But since that day that I got that sub-sit, I have never once been able to get their site player to work for me. It just doesn't play. Just won't. It's just so frustrating. I try and I try and I try and I try. But that was Arizona. Alright, guys. Oh, that would be great, Josh. That would be such a great Christmas present, wouldn't it? Time to get to work. We need to get to work today, guys. Today it's going to be a busy freaking day. So let's breathe, get to work, and then I will see you all again in less than 24 hours unless I oversleep, which I won't. Alright? Bye, guys.